Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I wanted to talk about the Khadi paper. I want to give sort of a brief rundown about the company, talk a little bit about their paper making mill and process, and then kind of talk about how this paper behaves and show what it looks like compared to two very popular other papers. So because I looked online and there weren't a lot of people talking about Khadi papers, especially in this weight, this gram weight, I want to give you as much information as possible. So, the mill that is used to create this paper was put together over 20 years ago, and it's in South India near Khubli. And they situated it next to a bunch of cotton growers, and it's right by their biggest open-air cotton market in Asia. Now, this company employs over 60 men and women from all local villages around the area, and they do very conscientious environmental practices, and the water runoff from the paper mill actually flows into their organic garden where they grow a bunch of fruits and veggies. So they actually have paper mills in 4 locations: South India, North India, Nepal, and Bhutan. And the Bhutan and Nepal mills make paper from locally grown fibers in their region. The North Indian paper mill sort of makes the hemp paper, and the South Indian makes all the cotton rag paper. So we're going to be talking about the South Indian paper mill location for this paper. So all paper that they make is 100% long fiber cotton rag, and all of it is acid free. So their paper is poured into wooden molds made by their on-site carpenter, and all their paper has this wonderful sort of deckled edging, which is created when the pulp that slips between the decal frame and the mold dries, and it creates this sort of decal edge. Now, the paper itself is made from offcuts of cotton t-shirts and recycled jute from jute sacks. They also use tropical crop residual fibers like banana leaf and sugarcane. So, this is not the same exact thing as anything else. It is its own unique paper. I just want to sort of say that in case you have to mitigate where your expectations are at. Now, their sketchbooks, they make a block, they make a hardcover, they make a paperback, and they all range from around 100 grams to 320 gram weight. This is one I purchased on Etsy from a company called Lavender Green. It's right there. And she does her own covers made from this paper and then binds this Khadi paper inside. She has a couple different weights to choose from. I opted for the 320 gram. This is 20 pages, and with shipping and everything from the UK to the United States where I live, this was over $42 US dollar. So I've opted to paint on both sides. 1, so it lasts me the entire month drawing challenge, and 2, so I really get my dollar's worth. It's a little over $1 a page to use this specific sketchbook. Now, I could have bought a sketchbook from Khadi papers themselves, but I just really thought this one was incredibly beautiful. So they make other products as well. They have envelopes and they have paper in the round. They have rag paper sheets in rough or smooth, and they go up to 640 grams. So you can get really, really thick paper. They even have one that's 1,000 grams. And I'm doing this in metric instead of imperial. You want to talk about paper weights in gram format, not in pound format. I have an entire video as to why. I will link that down below. But for those of us on imperial, it greatly improves our buying knowledge to start referring to paper by gram. That way we are informed and we're getting exactly what we think we're getting with the product. So all their paper says that it's for watercolor, painting, and drawing media. And if you want to use oil painting, you need to prime with acrylic gesso. So you can oil paint on these, but they want you to prime it first. Now, this, even though it is 100% cotton, it is the long form cotton, and with the variety of fibers and things they use, this does not behave exactly like Arches. The only paper I've ever found that behaves like Arches paper is Arches itself. So I want people to understand that when you're buying 100% cotton paper from all these different mills and places around the world, they're all going to behave a little bit differently. And if Arches is where you set the bar, then maybe you should only buy Arches paper, because this does not behave the same way. I'm okay with that. I still buy cellulose wood pulp watercolor sketchbooks, even though I probably shouldn't. So I want to go to a blank page in the back. And I'm almost done with this sketchbook, another week. And I want to show you, it's kind of an ivory. So here I have a piece of Arches, and you can see there's a more uniformed pattern on the Arches because it's through a different machine process than this one. This is still done by a vat and in molds. And the Arches looks a little tiny bit, it's a different color. The other thing I want to show you is my moleskin sketchbook. I kind of wanted just to show you the most common, here it is, it says moleskin, the most common sketchbooks that people use, or paper. And so here's what a cellulose kind of looks like. The cellulose is super white. They use like optical brighteners and stuff. So there's definitely like an ivory tinge to this paper. It definitely does not behave the same way as Arches. I would say that while Arches paper probably performs the best for watercolor, this one sort of, it doesn't repel the water like a wood pulp or cellulose, but you definitely have to do a little bit more work. Now, it's nowhere near the same as buying a wood pulp sketchbook. It's definitely up there. I just would, if Arches is 100, I would say that this is an 80 and moleskin is like a 50, if we're rating it like that. The other thing I noticed because of the long form cotton fibers is that personally, sometimes I sketch out to make sure what I'm doing is perfectly centered onto the page. And if I don't like the angle, I will erase and sort of readjust. With these long cotton fibers, it's really, really easy to tear with an eraser. So I wouldn't recommend drawing and erasing on watercolor paper anyway, but I noticed the tears are a bit more significant with this paper than it is with Arches. And they also feel different. I would kind of describe Arches as feeling a little bit more prickly. Like Arches is, and this is, I have the cold press right here, because that's what I prefer. And this is the 300 gram, and this is 320 gram. It definitely has, while the paper feels smooth, and this one has sort of a bigger surface bumps, the short hair cotton fibers are what kind of prickle on the Arches, and this doesn't really have that. This feels kind of like the prickles are laying down. I don't know how to describe that in the best possible way. It's such a different thing that I've never used before, and I really, really enjoy it. In fact, the fact that I can't really erase things makes me lay it down right where it should go the first time, and it's making me be more confident and assertive with my placement. So I'm definitely getting something out of the fact that it doesn't like being erased. I want to see if I can find a page, and I kind of have parchment between some of these, just because here you can see some of the fibers are bumped up. My stuff isn't drying right now, but, and this is what it looks like. It looks, the fibers pill when you rework them, and I spilled some paint and lifted it back off and scrubbed. And when you scrub, it tears the fibers. So I just wanted to sort of talk about this paper, this company. You absolutely, with the 320 gram, can paint heavily on both sides and have it be fine. It's not an issue. The warping I'm having is from the humidity. So this was perfectly flat when I received it. And when it sat on my desk for a month, it started to warp from the moisture in my air. So this actually isn't from my painting because I'm not really going in too heavy with the water. But it holds multiple layers and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I love this deckled edge. I love their like conscientious environmental impact. In Bhutan and Nepal, they peel bark from some of the trees and it doesn't hurt the tree and the bark grows back, and they're able to keep doing that every 3 to 4 years from the same trees and rotate around, so they're not deforesting any area. I really enjoy that. I hope this helped. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.